budget, $800,000, $873,000 is going to capital. That's it, out of a $34 million budget. There's very little money. But what's happening is, with this tiny sum of money, which is less than 3% of our budget, half of it is going towards the solar project. And I think that isn't balanced. I know it's not a balanced approach. And so what I would ask everybody to consider is that if this was intended to be a community center solar project, the community center's electricity is $35,000 a year. We got that information from GSE Solutions, and I think that what you found out, Tom, was that there would be 50% savings if we went solar. So that means that at the most that we would spend on a solar project, if you're talking an 8 to 10 year payback, is $200,000. And so what I would ask you all to consider is we cut this in half, and then we take $225,000 and put it towards a building fund for our fire station. And I ask that people, please, let's demonstrate that we want to start figuring out how we're going to fund a fire station. And in the end, the only way it's going to happen is if we start to, where we have these opportunities, start putting money aside, just like we would do personally. When we have some money, put it aside. And then I think it starts to show a little bit of balance because some money is going towards a facilities fund, and it's not all just going towards one project. So that is my request, and perhaps people can think about it as we go through the rest of it.
I'm excited about a lot of this stuff when I look at it. I mean, I think that it reflects priorities that I have. I'm excited about the fact that Clark Field, South Park, the two parkettes up on the east side of town are going to get new restrooms, that we're going to finish South Park, that we're going to fix the pier. There are a lot of things in here that I'm excited about, so I applaud Tom and staff for reflecting some of the input that I think we've gotten. There are two items that I would question, and I'll do that when we get to the more detailed stuff. And it'll be no surprise to anybody, I think, that I will support the full allocation that's proposed here for the solar power installation, and we can talk about that in more detail if we need to.
And then the last comment I mentioned, to follow up on Councilmember Petty's issue about the fire. I think, from my standpoint, I think the entire council is committed to resolving the issues of the fire department. But if we look at every project and says, well, if you take this money away, we can give it to the fire department, that applies to our entire $30 million budget. We can always have less police officers that give the money for the fire department. So I just think it makes it seem like we're not paying attention to our fire department if we're saying, well, spending money on solar, or spending the money on 8th Street, or spending the money on this that could be used for the fire. I mean, we really need a solution for the fire situation. We obviously have a team that's working on it. We talked about it for over an hour yesterday about what we're planning to do. But if we go through every one of these capital projects and say, we can look at each one of us as well, let's not put bathrooms in the parks, let's just use that money for the fire. And I just think it's unfair to kind of make that equation, because it gives the impression, or it may give the perception, that we're not committed to our firefighters because we're spending money on something else that our community also needs, such as other improvements that are included in the capital projects. So with that, if you guys are okay with it, I can go through the capital improvements projects.
I have to make one last plea. Do we all think it's balanced and reasonable when out of $800,000 that is always going to capital of this year's budget, that over 50% of it is going for one solar project? I don't think that's balanced. I don't think it's reasonable. I really don't. And I get that I'm outnumbered on this one, but I just think from a fairness perspective, to have a preponderance of money going for solar isn't balanced. And I know that you didn't like me continuing to say, money to go to the firehouse, money going to the firehouse, but you know what, I'm just going to tell you guys, people listen to what we do. I know they listen to what we do. And when we prioritize solar panels against starting to build a fund for the fire station, they know. And in the end, we can talk a lot, but money speaks, and us making a commitment to start building a fund, it says something. And so I know I'm outnumbered. I feel so incredibly that just this sense of unbalance in what's happening in our capital budget. And if I'm outnumbered, I'm outnumbered. It's disappointing.